Every single year, billions of dollars are stolen from seniors right here in our communities. And not by, masked bandits, but by these insidious voices on the other end of a phone line. In fact, by 2025, the total loss from these scams, it's projected to be absolutely astronomical. So today, we're cutting through all that noise. We're telling you exactly which numbers you need to stop answering because, let's face it, they're almost certainly scammers trying to steal your financial future. Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're security experts, and our focus is specifically on online crime targeting seniors. Our mission today is simple. Unearth the most common scams hitting older adults and, crucially, show you how to protect yourself. This isn't just about knowing the threats exist. It's about arming you with practical, real-world knowledge, safeguarding your assets, your peace of mind. For this deep dive, we're drawing on insights from SeniorLiving.org's report on scams in 2025, and also a really detailed look at voice phishing from Wikipedia. Okay, so let's get into it. It just feels so cruel that older adults are targeted so often. Why? What makes this group such a prime target for these fraudsters?
It is a really painful reality, yeah. And it boils down to a few core vulnerabilities that scammers just ruthlessly exploit. First off, there's the financial side. Many seniors have worked their entire lives, right? They've carefully built up retirement savings, and that, unfortunately, makes them a very tempting, high-value target for criminals.
A whole lifetime of saving just seen as an opportunity for theft. That's a horrible thought.
It really is. Then you have living situations. Some older adults might live alone, and that can sometimes lead to more isolation. If there isn't someone right there, a friend or family member, to quickly double-check a weird call or a suspicious offer, it just makes someone more vulnerable.
Makes sense. Less of a sounding board.
Exactly. And frankly, there are also these outdated, frankly offensive stereotypes that scammers play on. They operate on these inaccurate assumptions that older adults might be less comfortable with technology or maybe just more trusting in general.
So it's this awful mix of financial opportunity, potential isolation, and these unfair stereotypes. But how do they actually do it? What's their psychological game plan, their playbook for manipulation?
It's a whole series of calculated, pretty insidious tactics. They almost always kick things off by trying to build trust. They might sound incredibly friendly, maybe really approachable, even sympathetic, trying to make you feel like they're genuinely on your side, maybe even helping you out.
Ah, the classic wolf in sheep's clothing approach.
Precisely. And once they've established that false connection, they often pivot. They start creating urgency or fear. They want to instill a sense of panic, push you into making a snap decision. Because if you pause, if you think rationally,
then the scam falls apart.
That's it. Rational thought is their absolute enemy. They also often appear helpful initially, gain your trust, make you feel a bit obligated, maybe inclined to return a favor later on.
That really clicks. If you're panicked, your critical thinking just goes out the window. And I remember reading something interesting about emotional states.
Oh, yes. This is fascinating, actually. It's something researchers at Stanford pointed out. When people, and this applies especially to seniors, are in a state of high emotional arousal, so think intense fear, panic, but also maybe overwhelming excitement, like they think they've won a lottery.
Right.
Their judgment gets skewed. They become much more susceptible to believing things, acting on false information. So it's not just fear, it's any heightened emotion that can make someone vulnerable. That's a really crucial point.
Wow. So even what sounds like fantastic news could be a setup if you're not careful. That's quite an insight.
It really is. And they're masters at faking legitimacy, too. They'll pretend they're from a company, or a government agency, IRS, Medicare, you name it, or even a charity. Makes their first contact seem totally above board. And if you do start asking questions,
they deflect.
Exactly. They use ambiguity, distraction, get vague, change the subject quickly, just keep you from zeroing in on the inconsistencies. It's like a constant shell game they're playing.
Keeping your attention focused exactly where they want it and away from the holes in their story. Okay, so with that psychological manipulation in mind, let's focus on the voice aspect, the phone calls. We keep hearing this term phishing. Sounds technical, maybe. Is it just a new label for an old con?
That's a really good question. Phishing is, simply voice phishing. And while the goal tricking people is age-old, the methods have definitely evolved. It's using the phone, and that includes old landlines, but especially modern internet-based calls, VoIP, to trick you into giving up personal info, credit card numbers, basically your money.
I always kind of felt landline calls were, safer somehow. Is that just not true anymore? Has tech changed that?
Well, traditionally, landlines did feel more secure because they were tied to a physical place. But modern VoIP tech, it's completely changed the game. Scammers now routinely use something called caller ID spoofing.
Spoofing.
Meaning, they can make the call look like it's coming from a number you trust. It could look like a local number, your bank's number, even a government agency. So just looking at the caller ID doesn't tell you much anymore. It's incredibly hard to spot a scam just from the number. Plus, they use automated systems, IVR, those recorded voices. Makes their operations bigger and harder to trace.
Wow. So that familiar number popping up could literally be anyone,
Yeah.
anywhere. And I heard some scary things about audio deepfakes. Are they actually using those to fake voices now?
Unfortunately, yes. It's still emerging, but audio deepfakes are being used more. They can try to fool you into thinking you're hearing from someone you trust, maybe a family member, a boss, a bank official. It adds this terrifying new layer of deception.
That is genuinely unsettling.
Okay.
Let's dive into the specific phone scams people really need to be watching out for. What are the most common ones? What are the immediate red flags?
Probably the biggest category is just broad telemarketing swindles. These are everywhere. Scammers will hook seniors by pretending to offer all sorts of things. Free trials, extended car warranties, can't miss investment deals, super cheap travel, amazing prizes, advance loans.
The list goes on.
It really does.
Yeah.
Or they might impersonate someone official, an IRS agent, a bank security person, sometimes even a frantic family member. And here's something really important. If one of these scams works, if someone falls victim, their name often gets passed around.
Passed around.
To other scammers.
Exactly. Passed to other con artists. You get put on a list, basically, marked as an easy target. It flags you for more attempts, more exploitation.
So falling victim once can actually put you at more risk down the line. That's awful. How do you protect yourself from that kind of ongoing threat? The number one protection is straightforward. Any legitimate bank, any big company, any government agency like the IRS, they will not call you out of the blue and ask for sensitive personal information over the phone. They won't ask for your social security number, your full bank account details, passwords, nothing like that. So if you get a call like that, hang up immediately.
Just hang up. Don't argue. Don't explain.
Don't engage at all. Hang up. Then, if you're worried it might have been legitimate, maybe about your bank account, you find the official number yourself. Look on their official website or on the back of your bank card or on a statement you trust. Then you call them back directly to verify. Never, ever use a number the suspicious caller gave you.
Got it. Find the official number yourself. What about all those robocalls? They're mostly just annoying, right? Or is there more danger there?
They're definitely annoying, but yeah, there's more danger too.
Yeah.
Remember that Yes scam a few years back from 2017?
Vaguely.
You're right.
Mind me.
They'd call and ask a simple question like, can you hear me? Or are you there?
Right.
And if you just said yes, they could record your voice saying yes, and then potentially use that recording to authorize charges on your phone bill or credit card.
Just from saying yes.
Wow. Yeah. So the best prevention for robocalls, same advice. Just hang up and definitely don't press 1 or any other number to supposedly get removed from their list. That just confirms your number is active and that someone answers it. It makes you a better target, not a removed one. Your aim is zero engagement.
Okay, zero engagement. Hang up. What about the scams that really pull at the heartstrings? The ones using fear for loved ones.
Yes. The emergency scams. These are particularly nasty because they exploit that deep-seated fear. There are a few common types under this umbrella. You've got the fake accident scenario. They call, claim a relative. Often a grandchild has been in an accident, is hurt, maybe in jail, and needs money wired right now.
Oh, man. The urgency must feel overwhelming.
Totally. They push for immediate payment before you have any chance to check. Sometimes they even bring in a second scammer pretending to be a cop or a doctor or a lawyer to make it sound more convincing. Then there's the classic grandparent scam. Very similar. Someone calls or emails pretending to be a family member in deep trouble, or maybe a lawyer representing them.
And they need money for
Rent, legal fees, medical bills, bail, you name it. And here's a massive red flag. They almost always insist you don't tell anyone else. Please don't tell mom and dad, They want secrecy because verification kills the scam.
That makes sense. Keep it secret. Keep the pressure on.
Exactly. And this tactic isn't just phone calls anymore. Scammers reach out through online dating sites, social media. They build trust over time, maybe even fake a romantic interest.
Oh, like the romance scams.
Yeah, and then suddenly there's a fake emergency. They need money. The lonely U.S. soldier serving overseas who needs help is a common variation of that. And then there are the truly terrifying kidnapping scams.
Those sound absolutely horrific.
They are. Scammers call, claim they've kidnapped a loved one. Maybe you hear screaming in the background. They threaten harm if you hang up or call the police. Sometimes they'll even let you talk to the supposed victim, but the voice is distorted. Maybe they sound scared or muffled. It's hard to tell if it's really them or not in that panic.
Just pure psychological terror to force immediate action. And alongside these emotional scams, the IRS imposter ones seem relentless.
They really are incredibly common. Impersonators call, demanding immediate payment for supposedly unpaid taxes. They'll threaten arrest, deportation, fines, or sometimes they dangle a carrot, offer a surprise tax refund, but they just need your bank details to deposit it. Of course, that's just to steal your info.
What are the dead giveaways for an IRS scam?
The red flags are usually pretty clear if you know what to look for. Threats of immediate arrest. That's a scam. Rude, aggressive language. Scam. Demanding payment specifically via credit card, debit card, gift cards like iTunes or Amazon cards or prepaid debit cards. Huge scam. The IRS doesn't take gift cards. If they refuse to give you their badge number and name, scam. If they demand payment right now over the phone, scam. The IRS initiates most contact through official mail.
Okay, so if someone calls claiming to be the IRS, they're aggressive, demanding gift cards, what's the immediate action?
Hang up, just hang up. End the call, period. Then if you have even the slightest concern, you call the IRS directly. Their official number is 1-800-829-1040. Call that number to verify anything. Never, ever use a number the scammer provides.
Okay, that's clear. Now, beyond the phone, the digital world. It feels like a whole other battleground, doesn't it? A digital Wild West, especially for folks who maybe didn't grow up online.
You're absolutely right. The internet opens up vast new frontiers for fraud. Let's talk about phishing scams that come via email. This is where scammers craft emails that look exactly like they're from your bank, maybe your credit card company, Amazon, PayPal, any trusted business.
They look completely real.
Often, yes. Logos, formatting, everything looks legit. The email will claim there's some kind of issue with your account. Maybe it's locked. Maybe there's a suspicious charge they need you to verify. And they'll always ask you to click a link. Click here to verify your password or confirm your bank details or log in to resolve the issue. That link, it's a trap.
Designed to steal your login info or account numbers when you type them in on the fake page.
Precisely. It takes you to a fake website that looks like the real thing, but it's controlled by the scammers. So if an email says your bank account is frozen and you must click this link right now to fix it, massive red flag.
A huge flashing red light, absolutely. Here's the crucial thing to remember. No legitimate bank, no reputable business will ever send you an email asking you to click a link to provide sensitive personal information like your password, your full account number, PINs, anything like that.
Yeah.
So what should you do if you get an email like that and you're genuinely worried there might be an issue with your account?
Do not click any links in that email. Don't reply to it. Don't call any phone numbers listed in it. Instead, open a new browser window and type the official website address of your bank or the company directly into the address bar. Go there yourself. Or even better, call them directly using a phone number you know is legitimate, like the one on the back of your debit or credit card, or from an official statement.
Go direct, don't follow their links.
Yeah.
Makes sense. What about those pop-ups or online ads that offer things like a free VPN or a free virus checker? Are those safe?
You need to be extremely careful with those. While legitimate VPNs and antivirus software are valuable, many of these free offers you see in pop-ups or ads are actually scams. Downloading that free software might actually install malware viruses, spyware, onto your computer. It's designed by hackers to steal your information or damage your device.
So stick to well-known, reputable sources for security software.
Definitely. Ideally, check what your internet service provider offers. Many include security suites. Or go with established, well-reviewed tech companies. Avoid random pop-up offers.
I can really see how those tech support scams would work well, especially if someone's genuinely having computer trouble and feeling frustrated.
Oh, they are often brutally effective, yes. This is where you get an unexpected phone call or maybe see an alarming pop-up message on your screen saying your computer is infected or has serious errors. They'll claim to be from Microsoft or Apple or some generic tech support company. They might even offer a special senior discount to seem helpful.
And their goal isn't actually to help.
Not at all. Their goal is to get you to grant them remote access to your computer. Once they have that, they might pretend to run scans showing you fake error messages. Then they'll try to steal your bank passwords, credit card numbers, any financial info they can find. Or they might install ransomware, lock in your computer, and then demand you pay a hefty fee to get your access back. Sometimes they do minimal work just to justify charging you hundreds of dollars.
So if someone contacts me out of the blue about a problem with my computer,
Hang up the phone. Close the pop-up window. Sometimes you need to restart your computer fully to get rid of it. Remember, legitimate companies like Microsoft or Apple will never call you unsolicited about a virus on your computer. They don't monitor individual machines like that. If you're having computer issues, contact a trusted local technician or the support channels of the actual software company yourself. And again, check with your internet provider about security tools they might offer. And beyond the phone and the purely digital scams, we need to be aware of a few other common types too. Think about health insurance scams. Since nearly everyone over 65 is on Medicare, scammers love impersonating Medicare representatives.
How does it usually work?
They might call saying you need a new Medicare card and they need to verify your social security number. Or they'll claim you have to pay a fee because of new healthcare laws. Sometimes they just want your personal info so they can fraudulently bill Medicare for services you never received. The key thing to remember, Medicare already has your info. They won't call you asking for your social security number out of the blue.
Good reminder. And those you've won, scams the lottery. And fake prize ones, they just never seem to stop, do they?
They really don't. They're incredibly persistent and sadly effective. Thousands of seniors get tricked. They get a call or a letter saying they've won a huge lottery, a sweepstakes, maybe a car, but then comes the catch. You have to pay something first, wire money for taxes or processing fees, or to get the prize released from customs.
And legitimate lotteries don't work that way.
Absolutely not. No legitimate lottery or sweepstakes will ever ask you to pay money up front to claim your prize. If they ask for money, it's a scam. And the scale is shocking. This kind of mass marketing fraud costs victims about $1 billion every single year.
$1 billion.
Yeah.
Wow. What about investment schemes, targeting savings?
Yes, another major area. Scammers will pose as financial advisors, maybe offering guaranteed high returns with no risk, which is always a lie. They might try to access your existing retirement savings or sell you completely bogus investments. Sometimes they even use shared affiliations, like pretending to be part of your church or a community group to build trust.
Is there a quick way to spot a likely investment scam?
Urgency is a huge red flag. If someone tells you you have only a few hours or maybe a day to make a big investment decision, and especially if they pressure you not to talk to anyone else about it, your family, a real financial advisor, it is almost certainly a scam. Run away.
That's a really solid practical rule. Forced urgency plus secrecy equals probable scam.
Exactly. And then there are scams that prey directly on health concerns. Think counterfeit prescription medications sold online, often much cheaper, or those fake anti-aging products promising miracle cures for wrinkles or aging.
What's the danger with those besides losing money?
With counterfeit meds, the danger is serious. They might have the wrong dose, no active ingredient at all, or even contain harmful substances. They can be really detrimental to your health. And the anti-aging stuff, it's often just incredibly expensive, completely useless junk science. The advice here is clear. Always talk to your doctor or a trusted pharmacist before buying medications online, especially from unfamiliar sources, and be deeply skeptical of miracle cures.
And you mentioned mortgage scams too, targeting homeowners.
That's right. Since many older adults own their homes, they become targets. Scammers might send official-looking letters, maybe pretending to be from the county assessor's office. They'll claim they can help you reduce your property taxes, but naturally there's a fee for this service. Or they might target seniors who have reverse mortgages with confusing or fraudulent offers.
So how do you verify something like that?
Always go directly to the source. If you get a letter about property taxes, call your actual county assessor's office using the number from their official government website, not any number on the suspicious letter. Verify everything independently.
But this is a lot. There are so many different angles these scammers use. So let's pivot to empowerment. How do we effectively shield ourselves? What are the key practical prevention steps our listeners can take right now?
The number one strategy, the absolute cornerstone, might sound almost too simple, maybe even a bit antisocial in today's world, but it's powerful. Don't answer calls from numbers you don't recognize.
Just let it go to voicemail?
Let it go to voicemail. If it's important, they'll leave a message. If you do happen to answer a call and it feels suspicious, resist any urge to interact. Don't press buttons if an automated voice tells you to. Don't answer any questions, not even something simple like, "Can you hear me?" or confirming your name. Remember that yes scam?
Right, they can record it.
Exactly. Just hang up immediately. The goal is zero engagement with anything that sets off your internal alarm bells.
So be ruthless about disconnecting.
Absolutely. And hammer this home. Legitimate government agencies like the IRS or Social Security will not call you unexpectedly to discuss personal information or demand payment. They don't operate that way. They certainly won't demand payment using gift cards or prepaid cards. That's always a scam. Be incredibly wary of any caller who demands immediate payment, uses threats, or employs rude, aggressive language. That's not how legitimate organizations operate.
And if you're just unsure about something,
Yeah.
that nagging feeling,
Trust your gut and use the internet for good. If you feel even the slightest bit suspicious about an email, a phone call, even a piece of mail, try doing a quick Google search. Type in the phone number or a key phrase from the email or the name of the supposed company plus the word scam. You'll often find results very quickly confirming if others have reported it as a known scam.
that's a great practical tip. Use search engines to check. What about specific tools, apps, or services?
Yes, there are some excellent tools available now. For smartphones, there are free apps like Hiya, Truecaller, and WhoScall. These use crowdsourced data, meaning reports from millions of users, to identify and often automatically block known scam numbers right when they call. They can also help you report scam numbers you receive, which helps protect others.
So they build the community defense, essentially.
That's a good way to put it. Also, make sure you're signed up for the National Do Not Call Registry. While it won't stop illegal scammers, it does reduce calls from legitimate telemarketers. This makes the unsolicited calls you do get more likely to be scams, helping you identify them more easily. For online threats, consider using an identity theft protection service. They can monitor your credit and alert you to suspicious activity. And don't forget your existing providers. Many cell phones have scam blocking features built in. Now check your phone settings. And ask your internet service provider about security software suites they might offer, often for free or low cost.
Lots of tools to layer on top of that core strategy of not engaging.
Yeah.
But this raises a really important and probably sensitive question. What if, despite everything, someone does get scammed? What should they do then? It must feel awful.
It does feel awful, and the first thing to know is, do not feel ashamed. It is not your fault. These scammers are professionals. They are incredibly sophisticated, incredibly manipulative, and their tactics are designed to trick anyone. Falling victim doesn't mean you were foolish. It means you were targeted by a criminal. The absolute most important first step is to reach out. Talk to someone you trust, a close friend, a family member, someone. Don't keep it secret out of embarrassment. Doing nothing often makes the situation worse, and talking about it is the first step to taking action.
And what about the money? If it was wired, like you said earlier, is it gone?
Sadly, if money was wired, especially overseas, it is often very, very difficult, if not impossible, to recover. That's the harsh reality. However, that does not mean you shouldn't report it. Reporting is still crucial. Why? Because your report provides vital information to law enforcement. It helps them track these operations, potentially shut them down, and prevent others from becoming victims. You're helping protect your community by reporting.
So act quickly, even if recovery seems unlikely. Who should they contact?
Act quickly, yes. Have the phone numbers for your local police department, non-emergency line unless it's an ongoing threat, and your bank readily available. Call your bank immediately, especially if bank account information or credit cards were compromised. They can freeze accounts or block cards. Report it to the police. Report it to the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, online. And the AARP has an excellent fraud watch network with resources and a helpline. They have a very handy list of contacts for various types of scams. Keep those numbers handy.
This has been incredibly enlightening, thank you. It's just so clear that these con artists, these scammers, they thrive on outdated stereotypes and, frankly, a lack of widespread awareness about just how sophisticated these scams have become. But listening today, you are now armed with really crucial knowledge. That power of skepticism, the habit of direct verification, those are your strongest shields.
It really is about making that mental shift, isn't it? Moving from being potentially reactive, caught off guard, to being proactive, being informed, understanding the patterns, recognizing the red flags. That's the single most powerful step in preventing these scams before they even get off the ground. It lets you shut down the manipulation right at the start.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. Consider this. In a world where voices can be faked with deepfakes, where caller IDs can be spoofed to look like anyone, where emails can perfectly mimic your bank, the most powerful tool in your defense isn't necessarily some new app or waiting for a new government regulation. It's your own informed skepticism. The critical question isn't just who is calling me, it's what is their true motive here? Stay curious, stay vigilant, and always remember that fundamental rule. If it sounds too good to be true, or if it feels far too urgent to question, it almost certainly is a scam.